Welcome back to Lauren's Crazy Pet Show. This beautiful girl is Emma. She has traveled some incredible journeys in her life, including one most recently that was nothing short of miraculous.
Emma is kind of an enigma, I guess, in some ways. I got her in June of 2015. My friend Bill said that there was this Shiloh outside of Pittsburgh who needed to be rescued. So I drove out to Pittsburgh and picked her up. I was surprised because she was so tiny. And all the breeder would say to me is that the people that had her said she was too aggressive, and if the breeder didn't take her back, they were going to put her down. So it was either I take her or she gets put down. It was very strange from the start, but also because she was so skinny. She weighed 43 pounds, and she was so frightened of everything and everyone. This is a large estate that I manage here, and it's about 8 acres, and she used to hide here, and I couldn't find her. Like for days and days at a time, I would put food out and water, and it would be gone, but I wouldn't see Emma for days and days. But little by little, she began to warm up a little bit more, and I guess, like everything else, it was all about trust. And it took, 6 months for her to develop a sense of trust in me. And then little by little, she started to put on weight, and little by little became, like I explained to you before, our relationship is more of a consensually cooperative one. And she decided it was okay to cooperate with me.
So you two spend a lot of time together. And as you said, most of the time you were always together. But then one day you had to go away on business.
I had to go to Atlanta for a couple of days, so I got a person that I knew from my vet for a long time who I trusted to be a dog sitter for Emma. And I guess on the third day I was in Atlanta, I got a call from the dog sitter at about 7:30 in the morning saying that she had lost her. It was like, excuse me, you lost Emma? And so I jumped on a plane and came back home. Things were in an uproar. Apparently Emma was walking down Route 172 Westchester Avenue. I guess there was a Pound Ridge cop in front of her and behind her in their cop cars. But again, as I explained to you about, Emma is not a people person. So despite the fact that she had her license and her tags and her microchip, she wasn't going to let anybody get that close to her. And she didn't, which is why the whole ordeal ended up taking so long and being so difficult.
And she was missing for over a month.
42 days. Starting on October 29th, we got her back on December the 10th. The freakiest morning was November the 15th, Sunday morning, November 15th at about 7:45. I got a call from a woman who said, your dog is on the center divider of the Merritt Parkway at exit 40B. And that woman ended up being Mona Mitri, who stopped her car on the parkway and literally got out of her car and tried to shoo Emma off the road, which she did successfully. And if Mona hadn't done that, none of us would be here.
I spotted something crossing, and it was in the fast lane, so I would have hit that thing, whatever it was. It was the first car, and then so I immediately clicked the hazard, and I immediately slowed down. I realized it was a dog, and I knew it belonged to someone because it had a collar. I went and I parked sideways, and I really blocked the whole thing. So I got out. I started walking behind her and calling names. I don't know what I was saying, different words, and just to get her to come, and she wouldn't. I kept on walking, and then at some point she went into the woods. And I turned and I realized, like, oh my God, my car, my purse, I left everything in the car, and my door is open. I didn't even close the door behind me. And I realized there was 100 cars, I don't know how many cars behind me.
And if not for someone like Mona and a list of a whole lot of people who really got invested and went out of their way, when Emma recovers a little bit more, we're going to do a homecoming tour of some of the people that really volunteered their time and themselves in the search for Emma and really cared. And the irony is that with the technology that we have now, we were getting information all the time. People were sending snapshots and stuff of Emma going through their yard. And so I was getting a play-by-play of where Emma was going, but we couldn't get to her. And ironically, she went from Pound Ridge to Bedford to North Stamford to New Canaan to Norwalk to Westport to Wilton, back to New Canaan, to Darien, and then to Stamford. And then on Wednesday morning about 11:30, Stamford police officer called. He said, "We are in the process of containing your dog." It's just like, oh my God. And then he called about 45 minutes later and he said, I don't get to give people good news very often, but we have her.
A bunch of officers that were involved. There was probably about 6 or 8 officers involved, so I was just one of the group. The dog was scared. It ran across East Main Street in the middle of the day, and East Main Street is a 4-lane highway, really, very busy, and it was lucky it didn't get hit by a car. And the officers continued to follow it and try to capture it. It ran across another busy intersection on Elm Street, went between some houses. The house actually had a chain link fence with a gate. Once the dog went into that area, we shut the gate and we were able to corner the dog, and Animal Control Officer John Franzetti put the snare around its neck and captured the dog.
When the animal control person opened up the truck, she was trembling, but I just picked her up and put her on the ground and put her leash on, and she ran straight into the car and jumped in the car, and we went straight to the vet. She had lost 31 pounds. She went from 80 pounds to 49 pounds, but her blood work all came back clean as a whistle. They found 3 ticks on her, but that was about all. They tried to do a fecal test, but they couldn't find any in her. So that suggests that she really hadn't eaten for quite a while. And my guess is she wouldn't have lasted a whole lot longer.
It's just like a miracle.
Almost beyond a miracle.
And so your love for her is even fuller.
It's pretty deep.
So beautiful. Thank you for joining us. This has been Lauren's Crazy Pet Show.